You gotta, thank you very much, Craig. That was wonderful.
And Pedro.
And Pedro, yes. You've got to pick your battles. You know, I've got multiple properties throughout the nation and in Santa Barbara, and strangely enough, the river that I've got in Santa Barbara, I've got somebody else managing that property. You know, is it black and white? You either do it or you don't? No, it's not. You really have to look at all the different factors, and you're going to learn those factors if you're doing it. If you don't want to do it, it's a great thing to partner with somebody and say, hey, I'm going to go play golf or whatever I like doing. So, you know, you really got to pick your battles. Okay, we are at why Arizona, yeah, we are. Why Arizona real estate is on fire. And I know it is. I have a friend whose wife is a realtor. She came to our house here recently. She's doing way better than they were before. She's closing like one a day or something like that. I mean, just amazing what's going on in some parts of Arizona. So we have Daniel Butterfield. He is, and I'm going to give a little bio on you. Daniel is an accomplished professional with the 15 years of real estate investment experience, with a degree in mechanical engineering from the U of MNIT. I can't even say it. Huh? He has utilized his detail-oriented expertise of an engineer who is to his advantage. In 1997, Daniel has turned his business toward distressed, non-traded asset investments. This included an active business with a focus on residential real estate investments and built-in exit strategies for these properties ranging from 1 month to 2 years. His capabilities run from the gamut of IRA, 401k investments, loan origination, property management, repair and remodeling, real estate contracts, credit repair, global outsourcing, web development, marketing and integration of packaged software. I want to welcome Daniel Butterfield. Thank you very much for sharing that with us.
Okay, guys, I'm going to try to give you some very valuable information here. I'm going to keep it interesting, but as I set up my PowerPoint, I want to ask you guys 3 simple questions so I can tailor what I'm going the presentation to best suit your needs. My first question is, how many people in this room have come here because they invested in real estate before and they're just now trying to get back into it? So raise your hands. Okay, so what, 20–30% of people have bought real estate before and now they're just getting back into it. So how many people here have never bought real estate before and they're just getting into it for the first time? 20–30%. Okay, so half of you didn't raise your hand. That's okay. Almost set up here. Okay.
I think the laptop.
Slide the laptop
right in
over.
front of it. There you go. Nice.
Okay, guys. So my company is Investment Property Experts. What we do is we specialize in buying and selling property. But we do it a little bit differently. And the reason I say differently is because we have a group of companies that we control. And this group of companies, what's the trick?
Turn it on. Left side.
Okay. Here we go. Okay. So our offices are located, they're based in Phoenix. We have a 10,000 square foot office. We have about 40 people based in Phoenix. We also have a marketing and technology center that's located in the Philippines. And I'll get to that in a second. So in total, we have about 120 people within our organization. We've been in business for 15 years. We're established. We do a radio show on KFNN 1510 AM, 5 days a week. We're considered the local experts in Phoenix. We get interviewed every week by the Arizona Republic. We get interviewed by Sinclair No, who's a expert, who's a guy from Money Radio, and we've been doing this for a long time. And what I want to do is I want to talk to you a little bit about 2 things. First of all, us, a little bit about what we do and how we do things differently, but also about the Phoenix market. I know a lot of you guys are locals from California. A lot of you guys are looking at trying to make your next big investment or next few investments. And so I'm going to try to give you something that you can take home with you for your own advantage. So our organization, I have a business partner named Steve Taplin, myself. We are the owners of the company. We own everything. We control all the companies, and it's private. We don't have any other investors. We also have our professionals network. We have a lot of our investors who are affluent investors that hear about us on the radio. They come in, they have IRAs, 401ks, they have Roth accounts. They need help self-directing their retirement accounts, setting up checkbook control LLCs. We do all of that as a complimentary service. We do not charge for that. In addition to that, a lot of our people need CPA services. We have our own in-house CPA, the office right inside our office. So this professional network helps investors basically have a built-in team so they can invest in real estate. We also have retained these data experts. How many people have heard of the Cromford Report? Cromford Report is a publication done by Michael Orr, who's the new director of real estate for ASU University. And he also is one of our data experts along with his team. We've retained them to do a lot of the research that we're actually going to be presenting here today. It's stuff that we paid them for. We have our own opinions, which is great. Everyone can say, hey, real estate's going to go up. But if I'm the guy selling it to you, it doesn't mean as much. But if you have a third-party expert talk about the data and why real estate's going to go up, it means more. Now, the reason we have had to retain these guys is because we work with institutions, institutional investors that give us big money to buy real estate for us to renovate it, fill it, and make it perform. We can't just tell them, don't worry, real estate's going to go up. We have to provide the data. Our group of companies, we have our own real estate brokerage, we have our own mortgage bank, we have our own property management division, we have our own credit repair, debt settlement, as well as our own marketing and technology center. This group of companies is put together solely to buy and sell real estate. That is our main focus. If you guys could pass out the brochures, that'd be great. My team's going to pass out a couple of little handouts. And the reason I want you to have this in your hands is because as I go through all this stuff, it might be helpful for you to kind of reference certain parts of what I'm talking about. So everyone knows that real estate's a great way to build wealth. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be here, except for the guys buying the notes, which I love that idea. It's a great idea. In fact, right now in Calabasas, we just met with a company that's selling us notes. Their first mortgages, we're getting them at huge discounts. But we're not buying them to make the notes perform. We're buying them to finish the foreclosure and acquire the real estate. And so I love note buying, been doing it for a long time, but at the end of the day, I'm interested in the real estate, and buying it and renovating it is what everyone talks about. But you know what no one talks about is their exit strategy. And granted, you have the people that say, oh, you can wholesale all that kind of stuff, which you can make great money doing that, but you know what? It's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to find all these great wholesale properties and then sell them and flip them and make the $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. And so what we do is we try to make it easy for you. We're a very established company, and we want to work with affluent investors that understand that it is hard work to make money in real estate, but let us do the work for you. So what we do is we help you acquire the property and renovate it, we help you fill it, and then we help you sell it. But instead of selling the property to you prior to the renovation, we just buy it with our own money, and we renovate it ourselves, we make it perform, and then we show you the property. So you can take a look at the precise cash-on-cash return that you're going to achieve with your investment. You can take a look at the total return you're going to achieve with your investment, because we're also going to market the property to what's called a tenant buyer or a lease option buyer. This is a buyer that has wanted to buy a home for a long time. A lot of them are 40 or 50 years old. They've never bought a house before. Why? Well, because it's kind of hard for some people to buy a house. You have to go find a loan officer. You have to find a realtor. You go to the realtor, and the realtor says, well, you're not qualified to buy. You have to get qualified. Loan officer says, well, you have a collection in your credit. You got to go find a credit repair company. And in Phoenix, there's a lot of credit repair companies that will collect $1,000 up front, and then they won't even repair your credit. And so there gets bounced around back and forth. With our organization, we have our own credit repair company, we have our own mortgage bank, and we have our own leasing department, so we can help them find a remodeled home, we can move them in, we can help them repair their credit, and we can help them get FHA financing. This is known as the ultimate exit strategy. Now, a lot of people are buying real estate and they're holding it, just like the Memphis, whoever was talking about that. You get that turnover going every 2 years or 3 years or 18 months, Every time you turn over property, you got to do carpet and paint. It all depends on how high end you want to go, but you lose all your cash flow. With this system, you do not lose your cash flow. And the reason is because when you buy the property already renovated, in many cases you can buy the property with a tenant already in the property because we found them, qualified them, and moved them in. So on day one you get cash flow. But most importantly is when we're managing the property and we're fixing their credit, they're buying the property from you, so you never have a person move out of the property. Okay? This is the concept here. You buy and you sell, and you don't have to turn it over, you don't have to find another tenant for your property. You can buy and sell. So this is our program. We were featured as a top 50 investor as well as in Personal Real Estate Magazine. Andrew Wade actually did a 16-page supplement on us. You know, guys, there's a lot of people in this real estate business. Are they all honest? So what we try to do is we try to establish ourselves, our 15 years of business experience, our 10,000 square foot office, the fact that we're doing a radio show 5 days a week, the fact that we're local real estate experts in Phoenix, the fact that we're featured in this magazine. We're trying to show you that we are a very established company that really, truly mitigates your risk when it comes to buying real estate. So let's talk about Phoenix a little bit, okay? In the Phoenix market right now, the Phoenix market is doing something pretty unusual. And you know, you have the news and the media that can be negative and positive, and in some cases in the same day they're negative and positive. But at the end of the day, what in the world is truly going on in Phoenix? I want to make sure I can give something to you that you can take away. I know that we may work with a couple new people here, which would be great. If not, it's good to network. We're starting to do a lot of business in Calabasas, as well as Santa Barbara and Santa Monica. We have some investors we're already working with here. I have a very good friend of mine that has a mortgage bank in Calabasas. I have a new auction company I'm working with in Calabasas. And you know, our company works with individual investors, as well as investment groups, as well as institutions like the ones you see in the papers that are buying hundreds of properties. They're buying from us because of our turnkey system. But we're also working with a lot of international investors. My business partner is just coming back from Australia after meeting with, he traveled literally around Australia meeting with a bunch of investors because we picked up an Australian franchise, which is it's called the Professionals Group, which is networked with 45,000 different investors from Australia. We work with Canadians. We work with people from Hong Kong and China. My operations manager and I just got back from Hong Kong and China. We've met with 24 different investors in those two countries that are buying real estate here. And guess what? When I say here, I mean Phoenix. They've identified Phoenix as one of the most best cities in the nation right now to invest in. And in fact, if you do a little bit of research, you'll see that it's actually the #1 in the nation right now. Case Shillers identifies the top city in the nation as far as out of the top 20 and the top 10 cities. So how much do you think real estate will appreciate in the next 9 to 12 months? This is a big question, okay? How much do you think it's appreciated in the last 9 to 12 months? Do you think it's appreciated in the last 9 to 12 months, 15%? Who knows? Anyone? Yes. Yes, it has? More. Who thinks more? Okay. Who thinks it's 20%? Raise your hands. Who thinks it's 20%?
Where?
In Phoenix. Phoenix Metro. You think it was 20%? No more, no less?
No, I'm saying that.
Who thinks it's more than 20%? How about that? Okay. Who thinks it's more than 25? In just the last 9 or 12 months. So no one thinks it's more than 25%?
I do.
You do? Well, you know the answer. That's not fair.
I agree with that.
Who thinks it was 30%? In the last 9 to 12 months. Okay. In the last 9 months, Phoenix real estate has appreciated in 30%. Okay? And in fact, in the back room here, in the back, we have a lot of the data I'm going to present to you, which is, again, the data that Michael Orr and his team has helped us put together. We paid a lot of money to put this information together, and we put it all in a nice little packet for you. And if you register to win our wine basket, we will also give you all this research, and we'll email you a PDF copy of it, okay? And in addition to that, this packet also gives you access to our investor portal so you can view some of the properties we have right now today. A lot of investments groups say, yeah, well, come work with me and I'll help you find a property. We've already bought them, we've already renovated them, we've already filled them, we've already made them perform, we've already done all the work so that you can come in and take a look at a beautiful remodeled property that's occupied with a tenant buyer that's been pre-qualified for a mortgage, that has a loan application, that's been on the job for 8 years, that makes $5,765 per month, that's married with 3 kids, and here's the blemishes we have to fix on their credit. We're going to tell you how we're going to do that, and then we're going to get them FHA financing, and then you're going to sell the house for $205,000, and then you're going to make an 11% cash on cash return total, and then you're going to make a, in this case, 39% return when you sell the property. Okay? These are the types of deals that we do. The reason a lot of other people don't do these types of deals, because it's hard. Finding and renovating and occupying and then reselling, it's hard stuff. So we bring it down the pathway so that we can make this easy for you. We've been doing this for 15 years. We've done over 4,000 deals. We've been around. Now we're just trying to be, our thing is we're going global and we work with institutions, but the individual investors have always been very good to us. So let's go through some really interesting data. When things are good, things are good. When the crash was going on, everything was horrible, wasn't it? I mean, how many people suffered from the crash? Do you realize that in 2008, we were still selling properties, buying and selling? The market was sliding so fast. We're buying properties, renovating. We put these tenant buyers in the properties. We'd fix their credit, and we'd sell the property to them as the market was sliding. I projected $80,000, $90,000 profits in those same deals. We'd end up with 30 or 40, but we were able to do it in just 90 days. Later, as time went on, the underwriting guidelines got worse. And then we had to start to extend the lease options to 6 months, then 9 months, then 12 months. Now we're doing 18, 24, and 36-month lease options. So it's interesting how this market has gone up, it's gone down. Well, where do you think it's heading? Well, right now in Phoenix, it's going back up. Let's talk about where we buy. In 2008, we were focused on buying west side, kind of northern Phoenix, and we were very careful. We wanted cash flow properties, cheap properties. We didn't want to buy in the hood. I consider the hood kind of south of northern. Maryville. I don't like that area. It's more of a rental neighborhood. Great cash flow if you can keep the property occupied, but when they move out, you have to turn it over. So we tried to buy kind of in this area. As time went on in 2009, it got to be, we expanded a little bit. We kept mostly in the west side, did a couple deals in Scottsdale, and then as 2010 came along, we expanded some more. Now, what determines where we're going to buy properties? It's a combination of things. 3-bedroom, 2-bath properties, at least 1,500 square feet. It's properties that families would want to own. All these families are husband and wife with kids, typically. I mean, yeah, we have some single guys, we have some single moms, but at the end of the day, it's family starter homes. They've never bought a house before in their life, and they want to get involved. Now, in 08, 09, that was the case. They never bought a house before in their life, and they wanted to buy a house. But now, as time goes on, now we have a lot of people that had a short sale, a foreclosure. We love bankruptcy people. People have filed a Chapter 7, and then they were good after that. That's easy to get them qualified. So now we've expanded our program to all these different areas. And Mesa, Gilbert, Chandler, Tempe, Scottsdale, Westside, we are all over Phoenix now because the market is doing so well. We were very careful before because we didn't want to take, again, mitigated risk investment. Make sure it's attractive enough for a first-time homebuyer to want to buy, but we're not going to be spending a lot of extra money for houses when this market was still going down. Well, that market's not going down anymore. So in 2012, now we're doing even more. And how do we know where to buy, though? How do we know? Well, first of all, when we do our analysis on a property, they may be asking $130, $140, $150, but we offer what we know we can pay. And remember when I told you that we have this marketing and technology center? Well, the way we operate is every single day we will analyze trustee sale lender-owned properties, we'll analyze hedge fund packages, auction properties, we analyze the notes that we're buying, and every single day that's done out of our marketing and technology center. We have 2 shifts out there, and so they work from 3 in the afternoon until nighttime. By morning, they send all the research data to our drivers. The next morning, our drivers drive every single property in the valley that we're looking at. They do the renovation analysis and they take the pictures. They post to our virtual drive, comes back to our office. Operations manager assigns it to our full-time appraiser. Full-time appraiser analyzes the property to pencil out exactly what we can pay for. The analysis that we do is cash flow analysis. Can we get an 8 to 12% cash on cash? Is there value in the neighborhood? Is it trending up? How much did we buy before? How much are we buying now? We submit our offer. We do 1,000 offers a month. We cannot buy property in Phoenix unless it's a numbers game. It's competitive. Everyone knows it. In fact, that's everyone's complaint. Oh, we can't get properties. Well, it's a numbers game. We have 27 people on our acquisition team solely focused on acquisitions. So after submitting 1,000 offers a month, our goal is to get 30 to 40 properties every month. And that's how we keep our inventory very flush. We have about 95 to 98 properties right now in our inventory, and they're all segmented to different investment groups. And so if you want to work with us, what you have to do is identify your criteria. Like West Side, North Side, Mesa, Gilbert, Chandler. Give us the criteria, and then what we'll do is we'll set up a bunch of properties that we have in our inventory right now. There's no competition when you're trying to buy from us. The price is the price. We're like the old Saturn dealership. We'll give you access to the investor portal. You look at it. If you like it, you buy it. It's yours. It's done. We don't allow investors to bid up our properties because we're providing you an exit strategy. If we provide you an exit strategy, we can't allow you to pay more for the property because then these numbers aren't going to work. And you ruin the integrity of our entire program. So if you want it for $145 and then you say, oh, I'll pay $150, it's like first come, first serve. If you like it, go ahead and take it. So we're really big on working really personally with investors so that they can achieve what they want. Now let's talk about the market. Everyone knows, does everyone know the job market's doing fairly well in Phoenix?
Must be.
Job market's doing very well in Phoenix. Now you know. and guys, and that's why I'm going to give you a copy of all this stuff if you register, because all this data here that we're presenting to you is all about Phoenix and why Phoenix is why Phoenix is going to appreciate another 20 to 30% in the next 12 months. Tom Ruff of the information market, who works for Michael Orr, when Michael Orr is the director of real estate studies for ASU University, they predicted at one of our events in our office, we have like a 3,000 square foot presentation space, we do events all the time, educational, and they predicted at one of our events that real estate market in the next 12 months is going to be 20+% in Phoenix, and I have them on tape too. So, because jobs are growing, job market's doing really well. Here's another reason. You know this word shadow inventory. Oh, there's all these foreclosures coming. Oh my God, the world's going to implode. There's all these, foreclosure properties. Well, first of all, I love foreclosure properties. We wouldn't get the value if they weren't in foreclosure. So you should be clapping your hands that there is a lot of foreclosure inventory left. But you know what? The party's over. Foreclosure properties have decreased from 12.8, even as recently as February of 2011, all the way down to 1,196 active distressed properties for sale. So if the supply is low, and we know that demand is high in Phoenix right now, just read the news, then what's going to happen to prices? Prices are going to go up. It's simple mathematics. And so the question is, well, how in the world are you still able to find the deals and find the properties? Like I said, 27 people scouring Maricopa County, finding every possible deal out there, plus relationships. Do you realize that we have 17 different REO listing agents, that we have first right of refusal on every single one of their REO listings, or their short sale listings? And then on top of that, again, it's all about creating new ways to buy property. Hey, if the properties are too hard to buy the note and then finish the foreclosure. And again, that's why I was here in California, because one of the biggest auction houses here exists in California that has relationships with every single lender across the nation, and they happen to be a very good friend of a friend. Plus, I got lucky. Right when I registered for your event, I had one of our lease option buyers walk into my office. I'm so excited about my house, Dan. Your program is great. Credit's fixed. By the way, you know I work for Bank of America and I handle distressed property in Arizona. Really? You're my new friend. Let's talk some more. Then she proceeds to say, you know what, Dan, with your organization, I need to introduce you to my boss, who handles all the distressed properties for Bank of America in the entire western side of the United States. Got on the phone with him. He's like, Dan, I wish I could do a lot of business with you, but the fact of the matter is we're not taking any more properties and listing them in MLS. We're throwing them all to auction houses. Let me introduce you to the top auction house that's in Calabasas. So that's why I ended up doing a twofer, because I stopped there yesterday and then hit this event. And as it turns out, not only are they doing the auction homes, but they said, well, do you by any chance, are you willing to buy notes? Absolutely, I used to buy them all the time. But what's your story? And they said, we have all these notes that we can get from the banks, not just Bank of America, but across the nation, and if you will start buying them, you can be like one of the few people that's willing to do this and foreclose on the property, because for everyone else it's too complicated. Well, we have our own in-house attorney. We can handle all that stuff. It's not a problem. So, what a great trip. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all that. Okay, so in Phoenix, a lot of the people in Phoenix right now, they're like this. They're waiting for the market to hit the bottom. They're waiting for it to go up. They're waiting for this. They're waiting for that. And they're waiting, they're waiting, they're waiting. And it drives me crazy because I believe an investor should only look at the bottom line. Is my cash on cash reasonable? Do I have a good projected profit? If so, let's do a deal. And granted, you don't want to buy in a huge declining market, but you can't just sit there and wait forever. Well, people are scared. They lost a lot of money and pulling money together in PPMs and doing investment deals at the wrong time, and then the market sank. And so they're scared. And so right now they're slowly putting money back in the market. But I used to see a lot of the Phoenix people in this situation where they're just waiting and waiting. Well, that's kind of not happening anymore, because once they realize the market has appreciated, has hit the bottom, and has gone up already 30%, you know what now they're saying? Well, now we're in a bubble. We're not in a bubble. We're so undervalued in Phoenix right now. We have plenty of room to move up, because it's all about the affordability index. Did you know that home builders back in the day used to take a neighborhood and to figure out how they priced it, they'd take the median income and figure out what those people could afford, and that's where they knew values would go. Because human nature is to spend as much as you can afford, right? If you're looking at a car dealership and you're looking at the low end, the high end, well, if you can afford, now this is not for everyone, but human nature is to buy as much as you can afford. So 30%, guys, that's where the market went. And that's just in the last 9 months. And I'm proud to say that if you went to our website and you looked up the Sinclair Note interview on KFNN 1510, that in October of 2011, I predicted that bottom, and I'm the only person that predicted the precise bottom of the market. And I have it on a recorded interview on KFNN 1510, Money Radio. And even Sinclair No said, he's a big guy in Phoenix. Sinclair No has been a big guy around for the last 22 years in Phoenix. He even said that I was the only guy that predicted the precise bottom. Well, I feel like I cheated. I got a copy of the test ahead of time. That's all I did. I had Michael Orr, Tina Tambor, I had Tom Ruff, the local data experts in Phoenix, help me predict the bottom of the market. And so now the big thing is, what's next? Let's look in the crystal ball and see where the market's going to go. By the way, the price per square foot also coincidentally increased 30%. And so the big question is, well, what's next? Well, what is next is the market's going to increase another 20% in the next 12 months. And I figure for the next 12 to 24 months, we're just going to ride a little wave up. That's what it's going to be. And if you want to buy and sell a property during that next 12 to 24 months, great. We can put a tenant buyer on the property and have it pre-sold for you so you can capture your profit. You know what a lot of investors are doing? They're buying a property from us, and we're putting a renter in there for 12 months. And then, after 12 months, we're converting the rental to a month-to-month. And then, we're taking a look at our database, of which we have 22,000 registered wannabe first-time homebuyers, or wannabe homebuyers, okay? Whether they had a short sale foreclosure, or they just have blemish credit, or whatever, we have 22,000. We're accumulating 1,000 new first-time homebuyers every single month. How are we doing that? The reason we're doing this is because we have our marketing and technology center placing over 1,000 online ads per day on, have you guys ever heard of Craigslist?
Yes.
Yeah. There's 250 to 300 different websites just like Craigslist. Hoobly, AdX. Arceli, what are some other ones? Hoobly? Hoobly's a big one. So they're all these weird little online classified websites. Well, I placed a couple ads myself. It takes me 8.5 minutes to place an online ad. So we have our Philippine office, which is our marketing and technology center, of which I have a bunch of relatives out there, namely my operation manager, who's also my wife, and that's how we built connections out there 7 years ago. And we have 90 people out there, and they're all placing online ads so that we can appear everywhere on Google. If you Google in Phoenix, lease option homes Mesa, lease option homes Glendale, will appear 6 to 8 times on the front page of Google. It's almost impossible not to click on us. That's how we're getting 1,000 registrants per month, but we don't stop there. We also have our own telemarketing out of the Philippines. With voice over IP and technology, we have our own servers, our own predictive dialer, and we call up every single renter in Phoenix, in Arizona, in Maricopa County. Every single one. We rotate them around. We call every single one. Hey, you want to buy a house? We can help you fix your credit, and we can help you buy a house and help you get FHA financing. If you're interested, apply now. So it's the easiest sell in the world, because every renter ultimately wants to buy a house. So we have 1,000 registrants per month registering for us. So back to the strategy, 12-month rental, turn into a month-to-month. By 12 months from now, we're going to have 34,000, 35,000 registered home buyers. We keep it as a month-to-month, and then we start to market your property to this database, and we just sit there and connect them. We're going to take out of those 35,000 people, our goal is to have 1,000 people in our credit repair program, and then we'll qualify them for financing even before they move into the house, and all we have to do is connect the dots. Now, it's not going to be as easy as I just said, of course. It's going to be more complicated, but we have different exit strategies for you, is the whole point. Interesting point here. Lender-owned properties right now make up 15% of the market. That's not many distressed properties out there. It used to be up to 49% right up here. I'm pretty sure you have a pointer on this. One of those red things. Oh yes. There we go. So it used to be 15%. Now it's 15%. Look at traditional sales. 57%. Do you realize that now 57% of the homes sold in Phoenix, they're all regular deals? Last Thursday, so we have like over 200 short sale offers out. We're sending out 1,000 offers a day. And every once in a while we get that phone call. Oh, we got a trustee sale. Oh, we got 2 short sales accepted. Last Thursday we got 2 short sales, a traditional sale, as well as a trustee sale. All in one day. So it's like, oh wow, got to hustle, got to get these closings together, get them coordinated. We're starting to buy traditional properties. Like they're not short sale, they're not lender owned. They're just some person that decides that the market's appreciated to the point where they want to sell. This last traditional sale, and they had $40,000 with a renovation. And so after we get it done, we built in a lot of equity in the property. It's a great deal, better than the last few foreclosure properties we bought. And so the market is turning back to a traditional market, but it's not there yet. Everyone knows that everyone that used to own a home is now a renter. And a lot of people say, well, what about all these investors buying property? They're the ones that are driving the market, so it's unbalanced. Well, yeah, it's unbalanced. All the investors are buying properties in Maricopa County, and we have a lot of investment-owned properties that are rentals. And we have a lot of people who used to own homes now as in a renter situation. Well, after their short sale passes 2-3 years, and after their foreclosure passes 2-3 years, what do you think the renters are going to do? They're going to get back into home ownership. And all the investors are going to sell to all the renters. That's what I want you to be. I want you to be the investor that's selling to the renter that wants to buy a home. That's the concept here. Shadow inventory. Anyone think there's too much shadow inventory in Phoenix right now? I used to have to fight this argument all the time, which is when I put together this slide. Yeah, we used to have 35,000 homes. Now we have 15,000. And the inventory isn't there anymore. Now, I saw this report. I did an interview with Sinclair, not last week, but the week before, and Sinclair says, well, Dan, in Maricopa County, there was 9,978 homes sold in June, and the month before, it was 12,000. So it looks like real estate sales are going down, doesn't it? I said, no. Well, he says, why not? Because those are recorded MLS sales. Are all the sales happening in Maricopa County recorded MLS sales? Well, ours aren't. We don't even listen to MLS. We're anti-MLS. We work through our own network of investors, and we have our own investor portal, which is like our own MLS. Why do we do that? Because we don't work well with all those other realtors that are, trying to do it their way. We work better working more direct with the investor, with our own real estate staff. So what I explained to him was my meeting in Calabasas, where we're buying properties at the auction direct from this auction house that's indirect through Bank of America, and even Bank of America stopped listing on the MLS because they're giving them to the auction house and I'm buying them from there. So these are unrecorded sales. So the sales in Maricopa County didn't go down; they're still up there. They're not recorded. They're not. You have to go to the county to figure out how many true sales are there. That's, again, where our data experts come in. Here's another interesting slide. We used to be at a delinquency rate of 12.4%, which means 12.4% of Maricopa County were late on their mortgage or their loan. And everyone's still saying, oh, but we got all these foreclosures coming. You know, woe is me. How do I know when the market's really going to get better? Well, our delinquency rate right now is at 6.1%. We don't even have that many people behind on their mortgage right now in Maricopa County. The normal level is 4.5%. We're like 1.6% away from normalcy as far as delinquency in Maricopa County. What happens when we get down to normalcy? The market's going to go up some more to a certain point, and then it'll flatten out, and then maybe we're going to do a different strategy. You want to hear what the next strategy is? I'll give you the answer right now. By the way, we do educational events all the time. We don't charge for it. You know what? I saw in the Personal Real Estate magazine in the back, buy this house for $1,500 and rent it out for $800. What city is that? It doesn't say the city, but it says, come to my 3-day seminar. Well, I'll give you a 5 CD set or DVD set and a book and this and that, and I'll show you how you can make money like this. Well, come on, guys. I mean, buy property for $1,500 flat and then rent it out for, that's kind of crazy. We're not those guys. We do a lot of education. It's a way for us to get to know our investors. And we, just like this data, we're going to give away as long as you register. But at the end of the day, when we get back to normalcy here, we're going to go into a more normal market. And the next big thing is going to be this. I'll call it 2014, maybe 2015. We're going to be working with our same investors to buy a house. And then we're going to, by then, have 40, 50, 60, 70, 80,000 registered home buyers that have a little bit blemished credit. They're trying to get their stuff together. And we're going to put them in a credit repair program. We're going to fix their credit. We're going to get them qualified for financing. So as you're buying houses and we're getting them renovated, we're just going to sell it to them. It's going to be more of a traditional buy and sell. And we'll provide the services for you to do that. So that's what we're going to end up doing for 2014, 2015. After that, who knows? Maybe we'll go back to multifamily. We've done condo conversions. We've done multifamily. We used to have offices in 13 different states. My business partner had a real estate franchise called Realty Market Experts. Look it up. It was a big company across 13 different states that used to do a system similar to this. But guess what? After the crash, you have to retool a little bit. You have to do things a little bit differently. So, a couple things. Number one, I want to remind you that if you register, we can give you all this data. We're going to give you this printout as well as a PDF version of this so you have all the details. But more importantly is we have about 95 properties available for you to look at right now. And we have 5 of them back there. We can pick up a little summary sheet. But on the investment research packet, we also have a website, a username and password, where you can access our portal and take a look at all the details of all these investment properties. I'm talking about photos. I'm talking about virtual tour. I'm talking about all these financing numbers, the projected return, the cash-on-cash return, the market data, the affordability index, a map of the property, all this information. Even if they're occupied, do we have the tenant buyer information posted on there as well?
Yes.
Even if it's occupied, what your tenant looks like, the tenant buyer, their loan app, all the details. And so if you want to peruse that to see if a deal like this is for you, we make it really easy so you can do it in the comfort of your own home. Another thing I want to remind you of, listen to our radio show. And you don't have to tune in live, just go to our website. They're all archived there. That'll allow you to get to know us better. By registering, you'll get our updates, our event updates and market updates. We do a lot of videos and different stuff like that. Of course, after the event, we'll be around to answer questions and whatnot, but I already have a couple meetings set up. And what I decided to do is recreate our own discussion, dinner discussion and cocktails. Well, I guess it's going to be discussion and cocktails. At our office in Phoenix, again, we have a big presentation room. We hold events all the time. We're big about providing food, drinks, and have all these investors in the room network with each other and to help each other out, or of course we want to get to know them. So I scheduled a couple meetings downstairs in the lobby, like at the bar. And so if you want to talk some more and chat over drinks are on me, feel free to do so. After we get done networking here, that's where I'm going to be, meet with a couple people. And I invite you to join. So I'm trying to recreate the whole discussion and cocktails event, but downstairs. Party at my place. So guys, thank you for listening, okay? For any questions, again, oh, you know what? You guys can even write this down. Or it's going to be on the packet. Investments.expertrealtyadvisors.com. I've set up a username and password for all of you to access. And these deals are available right now, okay? These are investment properties that range from 120, 130 to 140 to 150 to 170, where you can buy them, and guess what? We're selling them for $50,000 or $60,000 more to the tenant buyers. I think Brian, 3 or 4 of them are occupied, right?
Yes.
3 or 4 of them are occupied with tenants right now paying rent. You can look at a 9-10% cash-on-cash return, look at projected 35-45% returns once the property sells, and all the details are right there. Now, if you're really serious about wanting to look at more properties, I want you to talk to Brian. Brian, stand up, please. Brian's one of our investor sales agents. And the way we work is, I will always work with you. I will always be very personal. You have my cell phone number. We can text and all that kind of stuff. But again, we're a large company, and I'm the owner of the company, so I have other responsibilities, and that's why I have Brian here to also assist you to get you what you need, whether it's anything. He's your account rep, so that's how we work as a team. So there you have it. That's Brian Long, our investor sales rep. That's me, Daniel Butterfield, managing member of Investment Property Experts. Thank you very much for listening to this information.
And Daniel, just so that we're clear, are those drinks going to be after 4 o'clock?
It's after we're done here, after we network here. I don't want to take anyone away from this
Which is
room.
about 4 o'clock, I think.
Yes, that's it. 4
Okay.
o'clock.
Don't want to lose anybody, and you don't want to come back here drunk, right?
Speak for yourself.
Maybe we do. See you after 4. All right,
Thank you very much.
Good job. Okay, so.